Cats seem to express a nice level of freedom, don't they? Anyway, an interesting topic. For a moment, just for fun, maybe close your eyes and ask yourself rhetorically, how free do I feel? What's my level of freedom? I guess it's a highly personal question, isn't it? And everybody has to assess for themselves. There's a very interesting principle in yoga. It's one of the it's one of the yamas, not yamas and niyamas, the 10, 10 commandments of yoga, I guess you might say. But brahmacharya has always had all these uh, different definitions. But Brahma, well, let's break the word down. Brahma, God, life force, the direct action and life of God. And charya means along the lines of control or restraint or moderation or tempering. And so we're counseled by the great sages, mystics, and saints in the past, seemingly of all religions and all spiritual systems. We can all point to the various controls and measures to keep us tempered and under control. The word brahmacharya in yoga is often translated. One of its most common translations is um, sexual continence, and keeping that under control, the obvious power that comes from that part of our body and the influence it has on us, and the necessity to tame and temper it to some degree. But many of the great interpreters of the word, they take it to mean much more than that, that we have a variety of energies and faculties and resources inside of us. And to the degree that we're able to tame and temper them, marshal and aim them, then our ability to achieve true liberation. Because I don't know about you, but I grew up in the age of freedom was to do whatever I wanted to do whenever I wanted to do it. And for me, that was kind of the 70s. If it feels good, do it. And to be free was to be free of discipline. It was to be free of the constraints of old people who had bad ideas, and the freedom to not do it the orthodox way and to try things out. And the freedom, certainly the freedom to misbehave and to be wild and crazy. And obviously that's an aspect of youth. And yet I bet that if you're on this call, we've probably all realized that's a that may not be the best definition of freedom. There seems to be, if you give somebody too much freedom without constraint, it leads to the spoiled child. I must admit to a horrible, gratuitous, bad habit of mine. Occasionally, when I am not engaged in one of my disciplines, I'll turn on YouTube and I watch police body cam, and it's cops pulling over 18, 19, and 20-year-old kids. And, they're just drunk out of their mind, and they're just highly entitled. And, uh, you know, the end of every YouTube ends up with them in handcuffs. And I apologize for doing that, God. But, it's inner, and their freedom is being constrained. So my favorite podcaster, one of my very favorite podcasters, he has a saying that freedom equals discipline. And isn't it terribly, amazingly, horribly, wonderfully paradoxical that our freedom is earned through the continual diligence of doing the next right thing and continuously marshaling these great energies of our body? We might think that every layer of our body, our physical body, has its desires and wants. Our emotional body has its desires to engage in whatever uh, excess that it wants to. Our thinking, it's obvious to see that we need to constrain ourselves before true freedom comes. But if we do that for long enough, diligently enough, then I think something is coming to each and every one of us, which is true creative self-realization and freedom, the freedom to realize our destiny in our own unique form of self-expression, the place where all of our God-given talents, gifts, and abilities are put to their maximal use for the well-being of ourselves and everyone around us in an ever widening circle of well-being, love, and truth. Now that's freedom. And that's something worth working for. And that's something worth practicing brahmacharya and doing our best to constrain these energies. But this is where the topic starts this week. Do you feel free? And what does that mean to you? And if there's any area where you feel constrained, the inability to be free and to express yourself, think about that, and we'll talk about it during the week. Anyway, it's great to be with you today. Looney says hello. He stayed for the whole talk because he likes freedom. And I'll see you tomorrow.